Well, hi everybody, Louise Edington, Cosmic Owl Astrology, with the last video of the day that I'm making on Friday, March the 7th. But this one is for the week ahead, beginning March the 9th. And there's not actually a huge amount of aspects, but this week launches us into this 2 week portal that is just going to change everything for us. So let's dive in. And I've also pulled 3 cards for the week to guide you, and I'll pull those at the end. But before I dive in, don't forget to subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I appreciate every one of you that does all of that for me. Even share the video if you like it, and invite your connections and your friends to subscribe to. Check the little bell to get notified when I upload new content. I don't always upload 3 in one day, but I'm on catch up this week because I'm running my big course. All right, so let's get busy and get into the energies. So I always begin the week on the Sunday, and so Sunday, March the 9th, we begin the week. The chart's always set for Washington, D.C., so everything I talk about will be happening at the same place at the same time for you. You just have to adjust time zones. And I'm realizing I wanted to add a couple of things in here. My centaurs, gotta have the centaurs. It's all right, let me just add them while I talk. But we have the first eclipse coming in this 5 days into this week, and that is just amazing. But we have other aspects around it, so we will look at those. So let me just add the centaurs. I should have added them before, sure, yes, but and this time is just wow, honestly. And I'm having to be careful not to add too many asteroids because the chart can get overwhelming, but there's a lot of asteroid involvement in everything that's happening as well. So it's wild times. But the centaurs are definitely speaking loudly right now. Okay, I'm just going to add the aspects and then we'll get on. I'll get to my list. Well, the first day on March the 9th, let me just go back up to it on my list of aspects. We don't have very many major aspects. We begin the week with the moon still in Cancer, and the moon is out of bounds in the sign of Cancer and will be out of bounds until I think it's the 10th. I'm just going to check that one as well, because the moon is we're at lunar maximum. I've talked about this a lot of the times. It's also called lunar standstill because the moon kind of appears to stand still, but it does actually reach a peak declination on March the 22nd. A lot of sites say June, but I checked my astrological software and there's a site called Moon Tracks that says that it's March the 22nd. So we'll look at that when we're closer to the time. But right now we start this week with the moon out of bounds, and the moon is going to be out of bounds till 7:08 a.m. on March the 10th. So and the moon is in its own sign, Cancer, at the start of the week, which is highly emotional, but also highly protective, wants to comfort, eat as well, that kind of thing. This is a time to really kind of pull in your pincers, pull down your shell, and do some, a lot of kind of self-nurturing and nurturing those you love. Other things that are happening on March the 9th are that Mercury is in Aries now and will be stationing retrograde later in the week. So Mercury is ready to station retrograde, but Mercury does sextile Pallas Athena on March the 9th. So that's a lot of strategizing and thinking about what's going and pulling pieces together and the threads of what's happening, and bringing that kind of owl wisdom into it, of piercing into what lies beneath to think where we're going. Also, that day, March the 9th, the Mercury again opposes Black Moon Lilith, who is also not on here, should be. Let me put her back in. So there she is. So Mercury opposes Black Moon Lilith as well. Black Moon Lilith's really in play this week, as the divine feminine is really speaking loudly now, louder and louder by the day, to be quite honest. All right, on to Monday, March the 11th. Come on. Oh, why is my... Oh, there it is. So on Monday, March the 11th, the moon has moved into... Oh, Monday, March the 10th, sorry. The moon has moved into the sign of Leo and will be in Leo all day, and will move back in bounds around 7 a.m, as I said, Eastern. And you know, so things settle down a little bit, but we are heading into a massive eclipse. So I think the energy is really kind of rising, the heat is rising, the emotion is rising, and Leo is a fire sign. And people are going to perhaps start getting a little bit scrappy, a little bit contentious, a little bit puffed up. So be aware of that. But on March the 10th as well, the first major aspect, because I'm actually looking at some more minor aspects than I usually look at, but Jupiter at 13 degrees and Black Moon Lilith, because she moves really fast. I use the true calculation of Black Moon Lilith. They make a lovely air trine at 13 degrees 11 minutes, and 13 is the number of the witch or the goddess, and this is more of that divine feminine kind of rage rising. Where's that feminine rage, the musical that, or female rage, the musical that Taylor Swift was supposed to be coming out with? And late on March the 10th, I'm not actually going to put her on here, but Chiron meets up with asteroid Circe, and Circe is the sorceress. So we're getting a lot of witchy, kind of alchemical, really kind of magical energy coming in, as some of these energies are activated this week. And you will, of course, feel that if you have energies around the degrees of those signs. Chiron will meet Circe at that 21 degree Aries mark. So that happens to be trine my sun. So that's going to be nice. March the 11th. I feel more rebellious by the day, though, with all these aspects. Oh, by the way, Hecate is also retrograde now. She went retrograde just before the start of the week. So on to March the 11th, the moon still in, very buoyant and also a little bit egotistical at times, Leo, by the way. But the big aspect on March the 11th is that Mercury and Venus will meet, and that's that's the first time they will meet, and they're going to meet at 8 degrees 47 minutes of Aries, as Venus is now retrograde and Mercury is prepared to station retrograde at 9 degrees. And this is heart, Venus and mind in Aries coming together into this focused, like, who am I now? But then they're both going to retrograde back into Pisces and let go of a whole ton of stuff, and also find out a whole lot of stuff from source and emerge really changed afterwards. That's why this Venus retrograde is such a big class. Okay, on to March the 12th, Wednesday. Cracking through the week, the moon moves into the sign of Virgo at 3:55 a.m. for a couple of days, ready for the eclipse, because the eclipse is at 23 Virgo. Saturn is now at aphelion, which means at the aphelion is where the object is furthest from the sun. Okay, so we have the sun in the middle. Saturn is going to be at aphelion, and that means its energy is felt slightly less. So the breaking down of the rules is happening even more. Okay, that's just briefly what that means ish. And then the sun is conjunct Saturn just 2 hours after the exact aphelion. So the sun and Saturn are far apart. Our core and the boundary of the universe, it's like the boundaries have broadened, and the limits, the furthest limits that we'll go to, not only are we at lunar maximum, people are stretching the limits, and this is what had to happen before things start to really kind of break down. But sun luminary as well, shining her big light on Saturn at 22 Pisces, is a gateway number. It's the master builder number, and this is the sun is saying, oh, we can't have this. No, this is, all these rules are being broken, all these norms are being broken, and we have to kind of shore up the holes in Pisces, if you like, and remove any fear of doing so. We talked about that a little bit on the video I did with Kathy and our guest as well. Oh, Anthony, his name is. March the 13th, no aspects at all on Thursday, or no major aspects, that is. Moon in Virgo still heading towards the eclipse, which is early on the 14th. And I've done a whole video on the eclipse, so I'm just going to move to the 14th because it's not long after this. This is almost the eclipse chart. As you can see, it's aspecting Uranus, like I said, I've done this whole video. But this is just the most magical eclipse. And the eclipse is Mercury guided. And of course, Mercury is stationing retrograde on the 15th. So Mercury is stationed pretty much. And this eclipse, its path just covers the whole of North America, apart from, this is of the totality. It's a blood red moon, so it's a total eclipse. This one is going to literally, eclipses reveal things, but also they literally like eclipse things. Things end, things collapse, but it's what's revealed, okay, under this. This is just going to be massive. As I've mentioned a couple of times too, the nodes will be exactly square to the galactic center right through the eclipses. Within minutes at least, but the galactic center is huge. So the center of the Milky Way, our galaxy, that is said to emit waves of energy. Not even NASA has witnessed that, but most people are experiencing this as blue light waves, or blue beings, or blue light beings, or the blue. It's like these waves of consciousness coming in, all right, and it's coming from Sagittarius, which is information, truth, knowledge, higher knowledge. It's kind of that Hierophant energy, which is the higher knowledge from source, and it's coming down into this eclipse. This is just amazing, to be honest. So really make yourself open to new information coming in, and kind of open your eyes, and then be discerning about what comes in and what needs to be filtered and what needs to be cleansed and what needs to be let go, which is the Pisces. And you will emerge at the end of this period with a far more meaningful and purposeful way of seeing your life if you work with this. Right, so that the eclipse is at 2:54 a.m. Eastern, and then at 5:16 a.m. the sun exactly sextiles Uranus. So this is, even though this is supportive aspects, to the eclipse, this is radical change. And Taurus is related to the material world, money, things like that. So, you know, people's money situation might change, but also their way they see it and the way they work with it and the way they find meaning in their relationship with the material and the natural world, because Taurus is also nature and the senses. Ooh. So last thing on March the 14th is that the moon will enter Libra. We'll leave Virgo at 2:58 p.m., just about 12 hours after the eclipse is exact, and we'll enter some airy energy for a couple of days to help us to try and find some balance after this massive eclipse, which is just going to bring big change. But of course, it's going to be hard to find balance, because on the 15th at 2:46 a.m., Mercury will station retrograde at 9 degrees 35 minutes of Aries. Now 9 is the endings number, so endings, and then of course we go to 1 again and new beginnings. But Mercury has got to 9 and says, okay, we're reaching the end, but there's some things I've got to go and revisit first. Venus got to 10, which is 1 and 0, new beginnings, and again was like, not quite ready yet. I've got to go back and eclipse some things, cleanse some things, see more clearly, have revelations, and as we head into this revolutionary time, which is very Uranus, I really, do not see the situation in the world that we're in lasting very long with all this energy. I can't see it. And then March the 16th, so is the Sunday, and there are no major aspects on the Sunday as we settle into Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde. The moon is still in Libra, still trying to seek balance and harmony on the Sunday. And then I'm not going to go into Monday because that'll be next week. But really, apart from Mercury and Venus meeting for the first time, because they're going to meet again when Mercury is retrograde, and because Mercury moves faster at the moment, or faster through the retrograde, and the eclipse. So Mercury conjunct Venus, the eclipse, and Mercury stationing retrograde are really the major energies this week of all the energies. I gave you some of the less big aspects. Oh, Sun meeting Saturn, of course, as well. But this is just such a wild time. And by the end of the week, by the 5th, the eclipse is on the 14th. So, excuse me, that is Friday, Venus Day, and a week from today. And then we are in this 2-week portal of massive heightened change. We're already in it, but that 2 weeks is just even bigger, because on March the 29th, we have the second eclipse at 9 Aries. Can you believe this? These degrees being activated over and over and over again. So look out for more videos on all of this. And my cat wants to go out, but she can just wait. So I pulled cards. The first card for the beginning of the week, and this is from the Red Threads Tarot from Etsy in the UK. Linda Hill is her name. I got the 2 of discs. Oops. So you can see this woman balancing on the head of the ball. So hang on, I'm just going to read you what the book says about this, because these cards are very unique. So we get the 2 of discs is the start of the week. This is I am holding on. I'm sorry, I don't need to say any more. This is I am holding on. This says, are you feeling a sense of balance, calm and grace, or are you juggling too much in your life and pulled in too many directions? At the moment, you've got to reach out, grab those horns, find your courage, power, trust, and equilibrium as we hurtle into this. In time, you will find resolution and balance, but this is about finding the leap of faith and holding on. But in the meantime, the next card is actually, this is about deception and betrayal. This is saying, things could come to light where you feel like you've been stabbed, you feel like you've been betrayed, or you've maybe betrayed yourself, all of that, or you find you've been lied to by anybody or by, the world, whatever. So, but, this is going to, this week is with this eclipse is likely to reveal all these kind of deceptions and betrayals, or a lot of them. And then the last card, my cat, she's like going, let me out now, you moved. She was on my lap when we started. You have to wait, Luna. So this is a card I have not pulled before. So this is actually the Chariot, but they call it the cart in this. And it's now card number 7. I will show you the image in a minute. So look at her. This is also about the concealment. Okay, so I'm going to read you the quote. It's, I am driven. Every time you leave home, another road takes you into a world you were never in. Magic is a way of living. If one has done one's best to steer the chariot and one then notices a greater other is actually steering, then a magical operation takes place. So, oh, sorry, I got chocolate. That's just chocolate, nothing else. This is saying, if you've been kind of heading in the right direction, kind of doing the work, it may be time to just let go of the reins and let whatever source, spirit, something greater lead the way, and allow yourself to be driven. In other words, it's kind of have faith and trust, and there's momentum, but all the work you've done towards it is going to take you off there. All right, so sorry if this was a bit all over the place. Please do remember that this big pile up of Pisces energy at the end of Pisces is square all of my mutable planets, and this time is quite dizzying, but I try to pull it together to make sense. And I do love you all, and please, don't forget to subscribe and all the things. See you later.